name is Jennifer, and I have not recorded this intro 50 gazillion times, even though it's not a hard intro. No, this is my first time doing it. Welcome to A Vintage Vanity, and I'm super excited for today's video because you guys are here, as well as we're going to be doing a Halloween slash fashion slash DIY today, and I'm so excited about this because you know what, guys, we're going to be doing clothes, but there's going to be one DIY in here that you don't even need to sew. I know, intriguing, right? And then the other one, there'll be a little bit of sewing, but not bad. So, what is it we are actually going to be doing? Well, if you guys actually had seen my, I'm sure you guys have all seen it, right? Watched it, liked it, shared it, all those kind of things. My Rose Gal video, and I will place a link to that on the screen. You saw one of the dresses was this one here. And it has this really cute print on the bottom, and I absolutely hate the top. Go see the video to find out why. And one of you guys were like, Jen, if you hate the top so much, just turn it into a skirt. And I'm like, I have the most brilliant viewers in the world. So yeah, we're going to be turning this dress into a skirt today, which I'm super excited about. So we're going to be using a little bit of sewing of that. And then the other thing is I was like, you know what? While I absolutely love this orange cardigan, I really love it with this dress slash what is now going to be a skirt. Why don't we make this Halloween? This is Halloween. This is Halloween. What we also have with this is at Michael's, Joann's. I don't know. I have gone to every single craft store to go through all their Halloween sales and buy way too many things. Well, can you ever really have too many Halloween things? I don't think so. And there was this garland. It's a felt garland. Instead of like cutting my own jack-o'-lanterns out of felt, well, these make perfect ones themselves. I also found these, I did find at Joann. It was like 70% off, because normally this is like $10, which is insane for what it is. But it is trim that has little pom-poms and little spiders on it. But also, I ran into this really cute trim as well. It's elastic. And then to put the cardigan together, we're actually not going to be sewing those things on. Oh no. How are we putting them on? We're gluing them on. Yeah, right? Did I just blow your mind? I feel like if I didn't, I should have. Because there's this great company that makes this amazing fabric glue that it bonds so well with fabric. And that company is Surebonder, and I will place their links in the description box below, and I'll place links to this glue and the glue gun I'm going to use. And in all transparency, guys, I work for them. That is my day job. So, but honestly, I truly love their products. So if you have never tried any of their glue out, their formulas are so amazing. Absolutely love them. And the glue gun that I'm going to use to put this on is actually kind of special too. It's like my go-to. And let me tell you, I've used pretty much all their guns at this point. Glue guns, I should probably say. And this is hands down one of my favorites, and that is their detail tip glue gun. It takes the mini glue sticks, which is what we have here with the fabric glue, but it has a detail tip. Because the problem is when you, especially with fabric, you don't want like a big glob of glue because this is a very small project. So having this detail tip on there gives you like a smaller amount of glue and also allows you to be really precise with where you put the glue. Absolutely love that. But you guys will see why I love this so much in a little bit. And we're also going to be using these little round silicone pads. I'm going to go ahead, let's go ahead and start with the cardigan. The first thing we need to do is free the jack-o'-lantern from its garland prison. Next, we need to ponder our perky pumpkin placement. I am going to be placing my pumpkin on slightly askew just to give it a little bit more of that perky pumpkin personality. A sneaky little trick I have to keep that glue from seeping through the fibers and getting on the opposite side of the sweater is I slide my silicone glue mat right underneath the fabric layer that I'm working on. Because this glue gun is designed to give a smaller output of glue, it means that glue is going to dry a lot quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and just do small amounts of glue and kind of glue as I go. For this next part, we are going to be pinning our trim onto our cardigan, and we're going to start at the seam of the arm of the cardigan, and we're just going to pin that on. We're going to slide this onto our arm, and you kind of want this sleeve to sit where you would normally be wearing it, which, by the way, how cute is that already? I'm just going to walk it all the way around my arm. Get to the other side, and we'll just slide that off like so, holding tight to it, tight, and then pinning that again. So now we know what our circumference is going to be. Hold the edges together over here and then just go all the way to the end, so I know kind of where the opposite point is, and then that way I can place in a pin over here. Then we're going to go to the sleeve and do the same thing. So we lay it flat. This is the opposite edge. I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in that. So now we know that these two pins have to meet. And then that's where they're going to attach. And we just pin those two together. Because you can see right now that the trim is much bigger than the sleeve. So now all we have to do is stretch that out, and then we can pin the rest of it. This trim, those cut edges will fray over time. So what you want to do is get something like what I have here, which is fray check, and you're just going to dab that on the edges. That will keep it from continuing to unravel and fray as time goes by. Big difference on the sleeve here is that we want to make sure that we're keeping that tension on the sleeve so that it doesn't get smaller on us. Where the two pieces of trim meet, you want to make sure that you are also gluing across the width of the trim, and you're butting the two pieces up against each other as you press down to glue. The bottom layer is glued down, but not the top yet. And before we do that, we're going to add our spider trim. Spider trim does whatever spider accessories can do. To do that, we're simply going to turn the trim to the inside, the side that we've been gluing, and we're going to take the trim, the strip on the trim here, and we're going to glue that on the inside, because what we want is from the outside, you just to see the little dangly bit. And then we're just going to do this all the way around. Watching me awkwardly glue this on, you're probably thinking to yourself, Jen, wouldn't it have made more sense to glue this trim to the other trim before you put it on the cardigan? Yeah, probably, but that would have required me doing some math and measurements, which I wasn't in the mood to do, so awkward it is. So now we have our trim attached to our trim, which is attached to our sweater. Now the last thing we need to do is to finish attaching our trim to the sweater. So we're just going to peel this side back, and like the same way we did down here, we will do up here. And with that, our sweater is done. One thing to know about the fabric glue is it is flexible and machine washable, but you will want to avoid putting it in the dryer because the heat from the dryer will make the glue melt again, and you'll want to also avoid dry cleaning. So you'll want to make sure that you're hanging your cardigan dry. Now before we try this on though, let's get the dress fixed. So moving into the area that is going to require a little bit of sewing is this. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are actually going to detach the top from the skirt. So we're going to turn it inside out, and I'm going to go ahead and take my seam ripper, and well, you might have already put it all together because we're going to be ripping some seams. So we're going to rip the waist seam, and then we are going to also remove the zipper as well. For seam ripping serging, I find the easiest way to take my seam ripper and just run it right through the top where the loops are. And then once I have those out, then I just pick a little bit of the regular seam stitch. And then I find that it usually starts to come apart pretty darn quickly. Ta-da! So the top, I'm just going to put in my fabric scrap pile. for use, and I'll find a project for it. And then the zipper, I'm going to go ahead and put in my zipper bin. So again, we can reuse those in future projects. Now for the skirt itself, the only seam on this is where the zipper was. There's no opposite seam. So originally I was thinking about doing side seam pockets because the only thing to make skirts better is pockets. But even though that would be nice, it's going to take up about an inch of the fullness, and there's not a lot of fullness in the skirt, and I really don't even want to lose an inch of fullness, so we're not going to be doing side seam pockets. So the next step for this is to create a waistband. I have some nice black cotton fabric, and to do this we'll have to do a little mathing. So because we've only got one side seam to deal with, the easiest way to create this waistband is going to be able to do it as one long waistband. We're going to take our waist measurement, and then we're going to add in our seam allowances, which is 5/8 of an inch on each side. So that altogether is 1¼ inches. We're going to add those two numbers together. Bam! And that is the full length of our waistband. The easiest way to cut this is to actually have it be cut on a fold. So go ahead and take that final number and divide it by the number 2. Now that you have that number, you have the length of your waistband, and now is to determine the width of your waistband. I like my waistbands to be finished 1½ inches wide, which means I'm going to double that number, which brings me to 3 inches, and then I'm going to add my seam allowance onto that. That's 1¼ so my width is going to be 4¼ inches for my waistband. I've gone ahead and folded my fabric in half, and here on the fold side I'm going to line up my waistband pattern. I'm going to simply cut it out. You may notice I have some extra on there. Pay no attention to that. I just added a little bit of room onto an old waistband pattern instead of recreating one. I cheated, guys. Now that I have my waistband, I went ahead and made it a best friend by cutting out interfacing as well. Now I'm going to take this over to the iron and sew the interfacing onto the waistband. The interfacing is going to give us more stability in the waistband. It won't stretch out, and also it'll make it a little less likely to kind of roll over on you. The next thing I did is I just folded it right in half and gave it a nice iron, and then on one end I turned it in about 5/8 of an inch and ironed that as well. And now this other side is what we are going to sew to the skirt itself. So the first thing I always do is find the center of my waistband by bringing the two ends together, and then the opposite end is our center. Place a pin in that. Then we're going to do the same thing on our skirt. Hold the two ends together, go to the opposite end, and that is where the center point is. With the right side of the fabric facing up, I'm going to match up my two pins and then pin the two pieces together. Come all the way to the other side of the skirt and pin the ends together as well. Then I actually take the waistband, fold it in half so that the edge of it is matching my pin, and I find the center of that as well. Do the same thing to the skirt fabric. Match those two pins up and pin it together. Do the same thing with this section as well. Then you'll notice we have more skirt fabric than we have waistband, and I just kind of follow the gathers of the skirt and then just pin as I go. Doing it this way gives me an even distribution of the skirt fabric across the waistband. And again, because I don't want to do more math, this allows me to kind of gather up the fabric as the skirt was originally done without having to math it out. We're going to keep doing that until the skirt waist is all pinned. Then we're going to take it over to the sewing machine and do a 5/8 of an inch seam right down the waistband. You know how you say, I'm going to go over there and I'm just going to do the one thing, and then the one thing turns into just all the things? That is what just happened. So I went over to the machine to sew the waistband onto the skirt, and I ended up also sewing a new zipper into the skirt as well. And now that we have the zipper installed and the waistband on, our skirt is actually officially done. And just by looking at it, I think it looks super cute. So much more liking it as a skirt than a dress. Now, it is super late at night, so I am going to head off to bed. Tomorrow we are going to try our outfit on and see how it looks. I am super excited about this, so I will see you guys in the morning. So, what do you think? I absolutely love how this turned out. I'm going to get so much more wear out of this being a skirt. And let me take the belt off so you guys can see how it looks as a skirt. So cute. But honestly, you guys, I think my favorite thing of this whole project has been the cardigan. I think it just turned out so insanely cute, and it's such an easy change to make. And honestly, my favorite part is the sleeves and the little spiders and pom-poms on it. Ugh, I absolutely love it. So be sure, let me know in the comment section below what you thought of today's video and what your favorite part of the whole outfit overhaul, I think. Is that what we're calling this? I don't know. Before I let you go, a huge subscriber shout out to Megan Canada. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and being a part of our cozy little online community. And of course, if you don't want to miss a minute of what goes on here on A Vintage Vanity, make sure that you click on my face to subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to shop my clothing line, go ahead and click on that boomerang. We might be having a 50% off sale right this moment. If you want to keep watching more videos, go ahead and click on the video you see on the screen right there. As always, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye!